As a real estate agent here in Tucson, Arizona, I would say that the #1 question buyers from other cities have for me is about Tucson's crime rates. Tucson is a large, diverse city and very spread out, with several suburbs and all types of factors. Today I'm breaking down crime statistics piece by piece, using nothing but crime statistics that I have found on different websites. Now, I'm not giving any opinions about Tucson today like I usually do. I'm just showing you some of my favorite websites for learning about crime and safety in Tucson. At the end of the video, I'll mention some things that Tucsonans do to stay safe in this city. If you like the content of this video, you can thank me by hitting the like button and subscribing if you haven't already, so we can hang out together for more videos about living rich in Tucson, Arizona. Again, I want to reiterate that anything can happen anywhere, so I am not advocating for any specific area of town or encouraging you to move here at all until you do your own research. This video is just about statistics and nothing more. This video references websites that I refer my clients to when they're moving across town or moving from another city or state. These websites are free and very useful and informative, and I want to show you what these websites can offer you so that you can use them to do your own research to decide if Tucson or one of the Tucson suburbs is right for you. Okay, let's get into it. If you've been watching my past videos, you know that I love the website neighborhoodscout.com for all types of statistics. And I really love these crime maps that show the darker purple areas that tend to have higher crime than the lighter colored areas. Here I'm going to pull up the Tucson map and zoom in on a few spots so you can see what different neighborhoods show up in darker purple. As you can see, according to this map, most of the northern part of Tucson and a lot of the east side and west sides of the city tend to have less crime than some of the southwestern sides. Now, that doesn't mean that you'll necessarily never see crime in those lighter areas, and it doesn't mean that there's nonstop crime in the dark purple areas. It just shows you that the dark purple typically tends to be higher crime than the lighter areas. Now, zooming in on the center of Tucson, this map shows individual neighborhoods in the center of Tucson being less safe. And you'll notice it's sort of hit and miss. As I zoom in closer and closer, you can really tell that we have full blocks that are completely dark purple right next to big blocks that are very light purple. That's really how Tucson is. You can be in one area of town that is traditionally very safe and low crime, but one neighborhood over could have very high crime rates. That's how it is here, especially as you get closer to the middle of the city. It doesn't mean you can't go in the purple areas, but it definitely means that you should be more aware of crime, especially property crimes, especially after dark. It's just good to know about the city and research the higher crime areas of any city that you are moving to or visiting. The website even shows the names of what they have found to be the top 10 safest neighborhoods in the city. Now, I want to point out something else about this map, and I really won't go into much of it, but you'll notice that a very small square is missing from kind of the middle of the city. That's because there is a separate small city on the southwest side of Tucson, and it is literally called South Tucson. South Tucson is its own city, separate from Tucson, that runs kind of along the edge of the Interstate 10 freeway, and the population is about 5,000 to 6,000 people, and it has a history of being high crime. Now, you can check out this crime map I found on bestplaces.com of South Tucson and the surrounding areas, including all of Tucson and Tucson suburbs. The dark reddish purple indicates the highest crime rates, and as you can see, it's primarily the South Tucson area and the nearby areas. Now, from what I understand, South Tucson is really focusing on their crime, and I've heard they're trying to make a difference and maybe have made a difference, and I hope that they do. But I believe that sometimes when people think about Tucson crime, they include South Tucson, which has traditionally high crime. Now, that being said, South Tucson is its own city, so their statistics are separate from the city of Tucson. And that's all I'm going to say about South Tucson. Now let's look at some of the suburbs of Tucson. 3 of Tucson's suburbs, Oro Valley, Marana, and Sahuarita, were ranked 3 of the top 10 safest cities in the state of Arizona for 2020 in a recent ranking by Safewise.com. Oro Valley ranked as the 3rd safest city, Sahuarita ranked as the 5th safest, and Marana as the 10th safest. Now, we have a lot of cities in the state of Arizona, so this is really saying something. Oro Valley and Marana are located to the northwest of Tucson, and Sahuarita is located to the southwest. I can pull up Oro Valley, Marana, Sahuarita, Vail, and Green Valley. These are all suburbs of Tucson on neighborhoodscout.com. And just like with Tucson, the website will show me what it considers to be the safest areas of those suburbs. Then, what I really like about neighborhoodscout.com is that you can search additional crime data and even break down the data by crimes for whatever city or suburb you are searching for. You can compare these crimes to the state average and the United States median. Now, I'm not going to show you every single part of the city of Tucson right now because that would take too long, but I want to show you how to run these searches. I'll use Oro Valley as an example as the city that you can compare because it's kind of small, and then later you can do your own research to search specific areas or suburbs, and I believe you can even search by zip codes. Now to start, you can pull up annual crimes, and it's broken up by violent versus property, but then it goes into even more detail about the violent crimes and property crimes in particular. You can pull up violent crime comparisons, that would be the city versus the state of Arizona, and these numbers are for every 1,000 residents, where the national median is 4 violent crimes for every 1,000 residents. Then the website will tell you what your chances are of being a victim of a violent crime in that city, and the chances of being a victim of a violent crime in the state of Arizona. Then it gives you an actual breakdown of specific violent crimes and tells you the crime rates for the city you're looking at compared to the United States. Now let's move on to property crimes. You can view property crimes in the city versus the state of Arizona, and the national median is 21 property crimes for every 1,000 people. Then the website will show you your chances of becoming a victim of property crime in the city compared to the state of Arizona, and then it breaks down 3 separate types of common property crime: burglary, theft, and motor vehicle theft. And it gives you the rate in the city for every 1,000 people compared to the rate in the US. You can also view the crimes per square mile for the city versus the state of Arizona, where the national median is 28.3 crimes per square mile. Now let's talk about some of the things that Tucsonans do to stay safe. This is all fairly standard security stuff. You can live in Tucson your whole life and never be a victim of a crime, but doing certain things will help prevent you from becoming one. So obviously there are certain areas we now know tend to have more crime. But even the areas that have higher crime rates are generally much higher in property crime than violent crime. And that would be things like people having cars broken into and things like that. So one thing that Tucsonans do is they park their cars in their garages, if they have garages. And if they don't have garages, they park them on their driveways as opposed to the roads. I know that in other places the architecture doesn't provide a lot of driveway space, but in Tucson we tend to have larger driveways and places to park cars right in front of the home. A car parked right in front of the house is less likely to get stolen or broken into than one that's parked on the street. Some people even bring their bicycles into their homes with them instead of leaving them out in front of the home overnight so they don't get stolen. Some people have alarms in their homes, or cameras, or automatic lights that turn on when someone approaches the home. Pretty standard stuff to stay safe and prevent break-ins. Some people have dogs that bark. Some people keep their favorite jewelry or cash hidden in their homes. But one of the biggest, most popular things that Tucsonans do to prevent home break-ins is that many of us have bars on our windows and security doors on our exterior doors. In Tucson, it's become almost more of a decorative thing than a security thing. Some window bars and security doors are really lovely and artistically appealing, with attractive designs, and some are Southwest themed. They're just really pretty. But they are also iron bars and very heavy duty and hard to break into. So people breaking in will either go to the next house if they see bars and security doors, or they'll try to get through some backyard window that doesn't have bars. So Tucsonans Arizonans also often have locks on the gates that lead into their backyards. Again, some of this is standard and obvious, and depending on where you're moving here from, you may already have all of these things in your current home. And like I said, you may live in Tucson your whole life and never be a victim of a crime. But when it comes to locks on doors and bars on windows and alarms on houses, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So to sum up this video, I hope you learned about some new websites that you can use to run free crime statistics searches for pretty much anywhere in the country. I really recommend that no matter where you move, whether it's Tucson, a Tucson suburb, another city in Arizona, or a completely different state or even country altogether, I strongly recommend you do your own research and study crime statistics in the area before you move there. Once you're there, common sense will be your best friend. If you know the areas that are traditionally higher crime, it will help you stay safe. If you have additional questions about Tucson, Arizona, or the surrounding areas, toss it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer every one. If you're interested in buying or selling a home in Tucson or one of its suburbs, contact me and let's get started. If you learned something from this video, please give me a like on your way out the door and consider subscribing for more content about Tucson, Arizona. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.